tablets, iPhones, and smartphones, go to DeWittDailyNews.com. DeWitt County's #1 source for local news is on the air, online, 24 hours a day.
Here are the contest rules for our stations. We allow one person per household to win any prize from the radio stations in a 30-day period. Unless otherwise stated, all prizes are to be picked up within 2 weeks at the studios inside the Big Red Barn at 2980 U.S. Highway 51, 4 miles south of Clinton. Our office hours are 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. weekdays. Any cash prize is mailed within 30 days of winning. Only if cash winners call our business line within 2 weeks of their name being drawn to provide their mailing address. Employees and their families of regional radio are not eligible to participate or win any contest.
From the Hart Media Group newsroom and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this expanded morning newscast. Good morning and thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Ben Hubbard. You're listening to the WHOW Morning Show. Getting financials in order is the New Year's resolution of many, but it's often hard to find a place to start. Connie Miller with the DeWitt Savings Bank explains that for many, the beginning of the year is a time to tighten things up and recover from the spending of the holiday season. She says before you can start growing your savings, you have to figure out where you are at.
Well, we at the bank have been talking about healthy habits for the new year, and that's physically and financially, emotionally as well. And so today I would love to talk about financial healthy habits. I'm sure a lot of us have spent more than we expected over the holiday season. And maybe it's time to tighten the belt a little bit and get things in order. Well, first of all, we have to figure out where we're at. It's just like, when you go on a diet and you weigh yourself that first day, it's the same kind of thing. So it's really getting your a state of affairs, see where you're at. So I always recommend people figure out how much money's coming in and how much is going out. So that means tracking your spending to figure out how much money are we really spending? Because I will tell you, people will say to me, I should have no problem paying my bills, but I have more days than money. They're like, I run out really quickly and I can't figure it out. And when they do start tracking their spending, they're shocked what they're spending it on and how much they could save just by a little simple thing.
Tracking your spending can be a tough task between bank statements, paper receipts, and online order confirmations. Miller says there are plenty of online services and apps that can help with this. And while they may require a subscription, oftentimes the savings pay for themselves.
So that's a really good question. A lot of people now are moving towards apps that will automatically load that information in. I have not tried this, but I've had several people recommend Monarch, and it's a new one. It's and a lot of these you have to pay for the subscription.
Yeah.
But 9 times out of 10, you're saving more money than the subscription. So it's worth it. And what it does, these apps, like You Need a Budget does it. Quicken has one called Simplify now. They will link to your bank accounts and put the transactions in there. Sometimes it's hard for the cash, like when you withdraw cash, because they don't know what you're spending the cash on.
Sure.
You might have to manually add that. My cash, I just put it in my entertainment because that's usually what it's for. And if I needed to move it, I could, but it's usually going out to eat or something like that. Yeah. So you can have everything download into your app, and it will track your spending for you. You pick your categories, or it will have automatic categories. And then you can, if I went to Target and I bought toothpaste and personal items, but I also bought clothes. You can separate those out as well. Those kind of things. Yeah. But so using an automated system, an app is a lot easier nowadays than it used to be.
Right.
AI can also be a useful tool in creating a budget, as it will help you format and understand where you could be cutting expenses and increasing savings.
Yeah, AI, you can use AI for so many things. It's really like like anything, it's what you put into it and the questions you want it to answer decide what it's going to give you. So a lot of times, yes, you can take a lot of legwork out of it, but your best laid budgets, you can put in, you need to know what you're spending, or AI needs to know what you're spending to come up with a budget. And it can also help you aggregate, like if you're doing some comparison shopping or pricing things, that's a huge help for it too. I had my daughter actually put together a meal plan and menu using AI. So there's lots of ways to use AI, but there's also great ways putting apps on your phone, things like that, where you can have your bank accounts automatically load your information in. It's sort of like AI, you're putting it in.
Miller indicates that creating a plan is the most basic and essential part of budgeting and saving, and sticking to that plan as closely as possible. Patrons of the Warner Library in Clinton have likely noticed the extensive HVAC work that is going on and impacting operations within the building. On the WHOW Morning Show Tuesday, Executive Director Bobby Perryman told the Hart Media Group that the significant HVAC project that is impacting the main level right now has caused disruptions to services as the library tries to stay open as much as possible.
So we've tried to keep the impact as minimal as possible. The library administration and our board wanted to stay open. In theory, we could have closed, but it would have been like a 4-month closure, and that's just not good service to our patrons. So the first part of the construction, I doubt patrons even know about. They might have noticed our big old chiller from 1992 that was in our patron parking lot is now gone. And they might have noticed that most of our staff parking behind the building is now taken up with these big units, the ones that Lucas was just talking about. But beyond that, it's been pretty minimal for our patrons, and except for a few days that we had to close because of extreme cold. We have no heat right now running in our building at all, other than space heaters. And when I say space heaters, not like the little ones you have at your desk, but like big space heaters. But they can't keep up when the temperature drops too much. When it's like 58 degrees in the building, we can't really operate. Beyond that, patrons hadn't noticed. Now they're noticing.
Yeah.
If you come into the building now on our main floor, you'll see shelves moved, books moved, ceiling tiles gone, carpet torn up in places. Basically, we're removing almost all of our current HVAC system and replacing it with new. So it is a big project.
According to the maintenance director at the library, Lucas Snow, the first phase of the project is complete, and now that the work has shifted inside, there is a lot more activity that patrons are noticing.
I'm sure if you're, paid any attention to the library socials or anything, or have been to the library, you've seen some construction going on. So we are doing a complete overhaul of our HVAC system, our heating and cooling. So yeah, we started that back in October. And we kind of just wanted to come today and give everybody an update on what's going on and how the progress is going. And yeah, it's just exciting stuff, big changes. We have gotten, I'd say phase 1 of the project is done. So the public probably hasn't seen a lot of the work because it's all been downstairs in the basement in the boiler room. So we've gotten new pumps, new circulation equipment. We got the boiler staying. So we have an old faithful boiler down there that's not going anywhere, but we got new piping ran to it. There's also, we brought in a lot more fresh air. So our new system, instead of relying on all the hot water, cold water, we're bringing in, fresh treated air, kind of like you'd do at home. So we have a big 40-ton, they call it a rooftop unit, but it's just an evaporation unit that is going to basically provide all of our heating and cooling for the building. So that's all installed outside and sitting there ready to go. So now we're just kind of connecting all the pieces.
Snow is hoping for a spring completion date of the project, but before that, there is significant work being done and still to be done. Perryman also stresses through this project they are working to make sure the historical integrity of the building is maintained. Additionally, the library has announced a closure for January 19th through the 21st for work that would be very disruptive to the day-to-day flow of the facility. Get news anytime from your computer or mobile device at DeWittDailyNews.com. From the Hart Media Group Sports Desk, IL Sports Wire, and DeWittDailyNews.com, I'm Ben Hubbard with this local sports report. In a game heard on WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com, Teutopolis flexed its muscles and toppled Monticello 71-49 in non-conference high school boys basketball action Tuesday night in T-Town. The Wooden Shoes finished the first quarter on a 16-3 run and never looked back. fueled by sharp three-point shooting and suffocating defense. Matthias Rudolph paced Monticello with 12 points. Aiden McCool added 9 points. McCool was the State Bank of Bement Player of the Game. T-Town goes to 13-2 overall. Monticello drops to 7-3. They are back in action on Saturday afternoon when they take on El Paso Gridley at the St. Joseph Ogden Christie Clinic Shootout. Tip-off is at 4:30 p.m. Hear the action on 95.9 FM WEZC and online at DeWittDailyNews.com. The Argenta-Oreana Bombers made a comeback effort to tie the game at the half, but couldn't pull out the win as they fell to the Central A&M Raiders by a final score of 58-59 in non-conference high school boys basketball action on Tuesday night in Moweaqua. Central A&M used a big first quarter to take the lead 16-7, but the Bombers fought back to tie the game at 24-24 going into halftime. The Raiders controlled the game the rest of the way, outscoring Argenta-Oreana 34-25 in the second half. The Bombers were led by Isaiah Parks, who had 22 points. Carter Logue scored 10 points, including 3 buckets from distance, while Jackson Finch added 9 points. Ace Spinner led all scorers with 25 points for Central A&M. Talon Rhodes added 14. With the loss, Argenta-Oreana falls to 5-8, while the Raiders improve to 500 at 7-7. The Bombers will play again tonight when they host the Edinburgh Wildcats at 7:30 p.m. Central A&M has the Meridian Hawks on the road on Friday at 7:15 p.m. Green Bay right tackle Zach Tom could be available for the Packers playoff opener after missing their final 3 regular season games with a knee injury. Coach Matt LaFleur said Tuesday he anticipates Tom will play Saturday night when the Packers, who are 9-7-1, visit the 11-6 Chicago Bears in an NFC wildcard playoff game. Tom hasn't played since hurting his knee in the second quarter of a 34-26 loss at Denver that started the Packers' 4-game skid to close their regular season. Green Bay's injury report Tuesday indicated Tom worked out on a limited basis. Tom has started 51 games over 4 seasons since the Packers selected him out of Wake Forest in the 4th round of the 2022 draft. Tom's return could stabilize an offensive line that already is without center Elgton Jenkins, who is on injured reserve and hasn't played since hurting his ankle on November 10th. Jordan Love will be Green Bay's starting quarterback Saturday as he plays for the first time since absorbing a helmet-to-helmet hit in the second quarter of the Packers' 22-16 overtime loss at Chicago on December 20th. LaFleur said he anticipates Malik Willis being ready in a backup role for Saturday's game. Willis has been inactive for the Vikings game Sunday as he dealt with injuries to his hamstring and shoulder. Other roster moves the Packers made included signing wide receivers Julian Hicks and Keeson Johnson and tight end Messiah Swinson to their practice squad. Darius Garland scored 14 of his 29 points in the fourth quarter, fueling a late 13-point run that sent the Cleveland Cavaliers past the struggling Indiana Pacers 120-116 on Tuesday night in their 4th win in 5 games. Indiana, the defending Eastern Conference champs, lost its 13th straight to set a franchise record in its NBA era. The Pacers are now a league worst 6-31 and are 1 loss away from matching the Washington Wizards' 14-game skid for the league's longest skid this season. Cleveland managed to erase the 9-point deficit they faced entering the fourth quarter. Evan Mobley had 20 points while Jarrett Allen and Sam Merrill each scored 19. Merrill went 6 of 10 on 3-pointers. Pascal Siakam led the Pacers with 22 points, and Jay Huff tied his season high with 20 points, going 7 of 10 from the field and 4 of 7 on threes. Andrew Nembhard had 15 points and 11 assists. Indiana played without center Isaiah Jackson, swingman Benedict Mathurin, forward Obi Toppin, and all-star guard Tyrese Halliburton because of injuries. Indiana still had a chance to force overtime in the waning seconds, but couldn't tie the score as the game turned into a free throw contest. The loss also delayed Coach Rick Carlisle's 1,000th win for yet 2 more days. The Cavaliers visit Minnesota on Thursday. The Pacers travel to Charlotte on Thursday. Baltimore Ravens owner Steve Bisciotti fired Jim Harbaugh on Tuesday after the Ravens were one of the league's most disappointing teams this season. They went 8-9 and missed the playoffs after entering Week 1 as one of the Super Bowl favorites. He was with the team for 18 seasons, including a Super Bowl. Baltimore's season ended Sunday night when Tyler Loop missed the last-second field goal attempt, allowing Pittsburgh to hold on for a 26-24 victory in the game that decided the AFC North title. After a hamstring injury sidelined Lamar, Baltimore stumbled to a 1-5 start. Harbaugh and the Ravens worked their way back into contention and eventually reached Sunday's winner-take-all matchup as a favorite to beat the Steelers. But despite Derrick Henry's early dominance on the ground and Jackson's sensational fourth quarter, another season ended in excruciating fashion. Harbaugh said late in the season he had an A-plus relationship with Jackson, and Jackson said he wanted to be in Baltimore. Taking a look at the NBA scoreboard from last night, the Orlando Magic falling to the Washington Wizards 120-112. The LA Lakers beat the New Orleans Pelicans 111-103, while the Minnesota Timberwolves took down Miami 122-94 in a dominant victory. The Memphis Grizzlies with a closer victory over the San Antonio Spurs 106-105. The Dallas Mavericks beating the Sacramento Kings 100-98. In the NHL, the Philadelphia Flyers beating the Anaheim Ducks 5-2. The Colorado Avalanche fell to the Tampa Bay Lightning 4-2. Carolina Hurricanes took down the Dallas Stars 6-3, while the Buffalo Sabres beat the Vancouver Canucks 5-3. The Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Florida Panthers 4-1, while the New Jersey Devils were shut out by the New York Islanders 9-0. The Las Vegas Golden Knights beat the Winnipeg Jets 4-3, while the Nashville Predators fell to the Edmonton Oilers 6-2. The Seattle Kraken took down the Boston Bruins 7-4, and the San Jose Sharks beat the Columbus Blue Jackets 5-2. In the NCAA last night, number 6 Duke takes down number 20 Louisville 84-73. Second-ranked Michigan beats Penn State 74-72. 18th-ranked University of Georgia fell to unranked Florida 92-77, while Minnesota beat the 19th-ranked Iowa 70-67. 25th-ranked UCF fell to Oklahoma State 87-76, while 22nd-ranked Kansas beat Texas Christian University 104-100. 21st-ranked Tennessee beat Texas 85-71, and the 7th-ranked Houston beat number 14 Texas Tech 69-65. Get highlights of your local high school program anytime by finding IL SportsWire on your preferred social media platform, and get local sports anytime at DeWittDailyNews.com.
Health isn't just something you think about when you're sick. At the SIU Center for Family Medicine in Lincoln, our doctors care for you through every stage of life. Annual checkups help you stay ahead of problems, keep your family healthy, and build a relationship with a doctor who knows you. Make preventative care part of your routine. Book your annual appointment online today by clicking their icon at DeWittDailyNews.com. SIU